Every day, more and more normies are becoming aware of the black pill, looks maxing, black pill related concepts, and the overwhelming majority of them, not surprisingly, are pushing back against this. And I'm seeing all these videos across YouTube and TikTok and Instagram of how, looks maxing is stupid. And like I just came across one right now, the looks maxing phenomenon preying on the insecure.
Because from the little I've seen and know, it's just like a bunch of insecure people, trying all these crazy things to try and be more attractive, I guess. I don't know. And I also want to know what the ranks are. Are the ranks got something to do with sub-5 humans? Is that... because that's like the incel thing, right? Is subhuman 5...
And my initial reaction to this is usually, like, my initial reflex is usually a little bit of frustration, because it's like, how do you not see this obvious truth? And it's also very frustrating to see the gaslighting that occurs to sub-5s who genuinely live really, really difficult lives as a consequence of their unfortunate genetic makeup. And they just want to be, like their difficulties in life, their inconveniences, shortcomings, they just want to be acknowledged at the very least. And they can't even have that. Like, that's the littlest thing that they want, is like some people to understand their struggles, but they can't even get that. Like, there was that video of the guy who said something along the lines of like, my life being ugly or whatever, and the video went crazy viral, and the entire comment section was just gaslighting him. And because of that mass exposure, he actually had a happy ending, and he actually found a wife through that comment section and got married. And so now this is actually a big argument against the black pill, which is ironic how it works. But, people just don't understand how probability works. And they're using an outlier, a drastic outlier like that, nonetheless, to try to disprove the rule. Anyway, my initial reaction is a little bit of frustration when I come across these things. But today I had a different reaction. And I think it has to do with an experience I had in a club last night too. And when I saw this kid's thumbnail, and I was just looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, like, could I really blame him? Like, could I really blame the majority of these normies for wanting to continue to cope? Like, I get it, honestly. Like, I'm looking at this guy or some other guys who take this position because they have to choose the position they take. They choose if they're going to condemn looks maxing and that looks matter, and take the politically correct approach to this, which the overwhelming majority of the public will publicly share, maybe in private. Everyone's secretly blackpilled. That was a good Tails video, actually. I think it was deleted from his old channel, though. But yeah, there's a theory that, everyone's secretly blackpilled. But people have to publicly decide what stance they're going to take, and very few people have the courage to not only admit that the black pill is reality, but publicly admit it as well. So I don't know if this guy in particular has admitted it to himself behind closed doors. I think what's more likely is that he just recently came across these concepts, given how his hair is styled and his mustache. Like, he's obviously not familiar with looks maxing. But nonetheless, the point is, you look at guys like this, right? And would it really be advantageous for them to take the black pill? I made a whole video on this on the Full Julius Perceiver channel. Like, why you should take the black pill or shouldn't take the black pill. And it explains the nuanced decision and how there's pros and cons to living ignorantly blissful or becoming aware and being able to protect yourself in some situations. Like, Tech Lead was one example I used. Like, had he been blackpilled, maybe he could have protected himself and his finances in that situation he went through, which was emotionally devastating as well for him. It involved his child. But then there's also, like, the hope aspect to it. And you look at guys like this, like, is there really that much in his control? because we all have a genetic ceiling, we all have a genetic floor, and there's only so much wiggle room for some people. And it's facial harmony is a very, very interesting thing because there's a lot of autists, especially on looksmax.org, who will try to justify everything through measurements, but this is an autistic way to look at aesthetics. Facial harmony is something that you really just can't describe. You can try your best to justify it with some measurements here and there, but really it's when your brain sees an attractive face, it's instantaneous, just like that. Like you just see certain things that work, certain things that don't. You could tell if it's attractive or not. And oftentimes we see attractive faces that contradict what a lot of these rules would suggest. Like there's plenty of non-PSL people, celebrities who are seen as very, very attractive, and the autists in the black pill community can't really wrap their mind around it. They can't really explain it, but it's just like they just are attractive. And so you look at this individual's facial harmony, for example, and there's not really much wiggle room. There's not really much he can do to ascend that high. Now, there's certainly some improvements he could and should be making related to hair maxing, shaving the partial mustache, probably putting on a little bit of muscle through exercising, and all of that is great, and that's why he should probably take looks maxing serious to ascend a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact that he still has that genetic ceiling, and he's never going to be able to reach a certain position that, say, somebody like Clavicular reached through trying his best, because we all have different ceilings. We all have different genetic limitations. So, like before I even listened to this guy open his mouth, because he just yaps in this video, it's a bunch of rubbish, bunch of just normie reactions to things he sees on Reddit, nothing surprising in it. Not worth your time to watch, obviously, like all these normie reactions to the black pill. But, like, it doesn't, I can't blame him, like, it makes sense why people don't want to take the black pill. It's like the Elon Musk video where he talks about, a lot of people don't want to accept the truth because it's uncomfortable, so they continue to believe what they want to be true. It's wishful thinking. And whether it's true that they genuinely don't believe how much looks matter and how looks maxing could help you, or they're just articulating that publicly to put on the facade and blend in with everyone else who's neurotypical, either way, it's besides the point. Like, could you really blame them for having these perspectives? Because there's just some people where, like true cells, for example. I'm not saying this guy is a true cell. I'm just saying there are true cells in general, and it'll be very difficult for them without in very, very drastic measures to make very, very significant improvements. So it makes sense why a lot of people cope. And so I'm not as frustrated today seeing these reactions. It's more like, like it just makes sense. Like, could you really blame them? And the incident at the club, I was having a great time, and I saw these guys on tables throwing out single-dollar bills, and obviously to buy a table, you got to spend a lot of money too. And this is beta boxing, right? And I was just thinking to myself how, this is obviously against advice from the black pill community, like beta boxing doesn't generate desire, but these guys were true sub fives, and I don't think they had much hope of ascending that much farther. Perhaps maybe to mid-tier normie at best if they did everything in their power. I won't describe them, but they were true cells for the most part. And yeah, I came to the realization, I'm like, you know what? Some people, maybe they just need to embrace being their role in human nature, their role. Like, some people are not meant to be alphas and generate alpha desire. Some people are meant to be betas and just beta provide. And then there's some that can work synergistically with both qualities, and that's where the majority of people will fall into. But there's others where it's like, yeah, beta buxing doesn't generate true desire, but it's like, could you blame him? Like, what else is he gonna do? You know, it's just like an acceptance kind of thing. For all I know, maybe those guys could have been black-pilled already, and they're just in the acceptance phase already. Like, that's very strong possibility, because if you are a true cell, a true sub 5, you still should enjoy your life to the fullest. You should absolutely try everything in your power to status max, money max, so you could do things like that. So I was looking at those guys more in admiration, whether it was out of blissful ignorance or acceptance, which is a lot less likely, but most likely they were just having a great time, like normal people, unlike us retarded folks, weirdos. But yeah, I kind of looked at them in admiration. Like, could you really blame these guys for beta buxing? Like, what else are they going to do? The same way these normies are coming out with reactions to the black pill, condemning it. Like, could you blame most of these guys? You'll tend to find if you black pill someone who's a Chad, like they'll come around to accepting the truth pretty quickly because it's a convenient truth. And if you black pill a sub 5, it's pretty often too that they'll also, like a true cell, true sub 5, they'll also agree. But it's the normies in the middle that are harder to black pill because they're still coping, especially the low tier normies, like borderline sub 5 to low tier normies to mid tier normies. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to share that brief, fleeting thought. So this is going on the Raw channel. I'll just post some more random thoughts on here that whenever I get some random thoughts that I don't have time for a full edit for.